discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and today I'm doing a no run-through review over Kami-sama, which is one of the most recent Kickstarters that I've had at this point in time. And boy oh boy does Kami-sama suck. Like, okay, that's a bit of a overstatement. It doesn't suck. Kami-sama is not the worst game I've ever played. But it is probably one of the most boring games that I have played in quite some time. Kami-sama, if you don't know, is you are a kami trying to spread influence through a village. And it's an asymmetrical game where each person has a unique kami with their own, special powers. And whenever it says asymmetrical, like, I mean that in probably the lightest sense, in the way that, yes, every kami is different. However, what everyone is doing is still pretty much the same. So, like, everyone has their own shrines, and and the board is circular and broken up into 4 villages. And at any given round, you can only affect one village. And this is actually one of the things that I like about the game. So here's a positive. So you can only affect your village that is facing you, unless you have obviously abilities that affect other villages and stuff like that. But for the most part, your actions can only affect your village. So you can only remove shrines in that village. You can only place shrines in that village. And then after everyone has passed, you rotate the board. Excuse me. You rotate the board. So now, the village that you are affecting is the village of the player to your right. So now all that work that you've done in your village, because at the end of the year, once the board has rotated 4 times, then you're going to score for majority, and then you're going to get cards, and that's going to get you extra points and some bonuses. But for the most part, you're just trying to control 4 separate villages. But anyway, so all that hard work that you've done, now the person to your left is going to be able to mess with that, or remove your villages, and you can't really do anything to stop it. But everyone, like I said, it's asymmetrical, so everyone has special abilities, and you have action cubes that you place on your. Okay, well, this special ability costs 1 cube, so I can only do this once. I'm going to do it now, and then this one costs 2 cubes, and so on and so forth. For the most part, everyone's abilities kind of let them affect other villages, so they're not just completely waiting for 4 rounds before they can work on that village again. But like I said, what makes this game tedious and boring is that, like, everyone's doing the same thing. So all you're doing is placing shrines, and all you're doing is affecting one village, and at the end of the day, this game says that it lasts great. The game says it lasts, thank you for not putting it on here. Oh, I thought it did. Yep. 60 to 90 minutes. Which is not entirely incorrect. Like, it probably lasts around 90 minutes. But that is about 30 minutes too long. I have felt that this game takes way longer than it should, because your abilities are not that interesting. Some of them are neat, and they're nice at the very beginning of the game. And I would say, even because the game lasts 3 years, it lasts about a year too long. And I would say probably even into the second year, it's like, okay, yep, now the game's starting to get good, and then by year 3, you're like, man, this game is really overstaying its welcome. Depending on the way the commies come out, or who gets their commies, it's like, okay, well, all of us aren't really aggressive, so we all have our shrines out, I guess. Man, I don't have any to place. I guess I'll just remove my shrine and then place my shrine and then remove my shrine. Because at the beginning of the game, you have 3 actions. So, and then by year 2, you have 4 actions. Then by year 3, you have 5 actions. So you get to do more and more. But the problem is what you are doing is still the same. So your abilities are still the same. Your placing shrines are still the same. So nothing changes about the game by year 3. You can just do more of what you've already done, but your abilities can only be used once. So it's like, great, I still have more actions to do. Oh, I guess I'll just place another shrine. Oh, I don't have any. Okay, can anyone please remove my shrine so I can do something? Which is why this game lasts too long. By year 3, that seems to happen to almost everyone, and it's boring. Like the game is boring. Year one, you're starting to set up and you're getting your places. You're doing your abilities, but you can't do everything, which is what makes it more strategic. You're like, okay, well, I only have 3 actions. Do I want to spend 2 of my actions to do my big ability, or do I want to place 3 shrines? Like, you have options. By year 2, you get 1 more action cube. And it's like, okay, so now it gives you a little bit more freedom, but it still constrains you. 5 actions by year 3, you're like, man, okay, I guess I'm just gonna, I guess I'll do this. Like, there's no thought process, there's no stress behind it. What makes Euro games and asymmetrical games so great is that you can't do everything. Kami-sama gives you the ability to do everything, except what you're doing is incredibly boring and tedious. So what are things that I like about the game? Well, like I said, I like the way the board rotates, so you can't just you're not area controlling the whole board. You're doing sections at a time, and you can affect. Once the board rotates, it's like, okay, well, now I can start messing with you and so on and so forth. Initially, there's 20 kami. And initially, I've liked I like them. Like they are unique, which is cool, but not fun enough for the length of the game. So, what else do I like? There's not really a whole lot that I actually like about this game. Like, I was gonna do a run through for it, but then I'm like, I really don't want to edit it. Like, it's not that good of a game. Yep, I'm really stretching on things to actually find that I like about Kami-sama. So, I mean, what else can I really say? I mean, this game requires 4 people. I mean, it doesn't. Like, you can play with 2 or 3. 2, you have a ghost, third player, so do with that what you will. 3 is just awkward because, there's 4 sections of the thing, so one's always going to be kind of ignored for the most part, and then you have a first player token that gets passed around, so each person gets to start. But normally, in a 4-player... Here's the thing. In a 4-player game, everyone has their own village to worry about, and then it moves on, and everyone has a new village. There's not one weird just village that's ignored the entire time. So you're kind of limited on player count. In a 4-player game, I mean, you have a little bit more player interaction because there are some really aggressive kami that are all about destruction and replacing people's shrines. Very passive kami that just help you and do what you want. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like these kami are balanced. At least in my experience, they haven't been balanced. They've just been like one person can just obliterate everyone's work without really having to try, where others have to work really hard to just try and get a few shrines out. And then there's another thing that is like a huge point jump. So there are 2 resources, favor and nature. And to get favor, you have to place a shrine in a farm area. And if you place a shrine there, you're going to get 2 favor. And then in the nature, you get by placing it in like a forest, so you'll get 2 nature. At the end of a year, you get points based off the lower of the 2. So if you have 12 favor and 5 nature, you're only going to get 5 points. So I do like that. I like how you have to balance those 2 just to try and get some extra points, because that's going to be a huge jump. One of the games that we were playing, Kat actually, literally, because she had nothing else to do, just kept removing her own shrines and adding them to just go up the track, and at the end of it, she got 12 points, which just hopped her up, and she actually ended up winning that game. which is fine. Like that's something you can do, but that's almost like, okay, I guess I'll do this just because I really have nothing else better to do. Like there are objectives that you can get. That all the objectives do is if you meet them, and some of them are like patterns, or some are like own 2 farms and a still house, and it's like, okay, well I did that, and you'll get a token, and there's 4 tokens, one for each type of village. And once you get all 4 tokens, you get rid of them and you get 6 points. So there are ways to get points. At the end of a year, it goes by whoever has the most shrines in a village. You'll draw cards equal to the number of players, and you'll pick one. And some of these have end game points. Others give you an immediate, like, hey, immediately gain 2 favor. So there's a little bit of card drafting in the game, which isn't terrible. Like it gives you a reason to area control, which isn't bad, because a lot of these will give you points, and that's where your end game scoring comes in. And some of them might actually let you replace other people's shrines in another village or stuff like that. So they give you some slight advantage. Like the game's it's not bad. Like it's just this company did another game that I was not a huge fan of either. And it was Western Legends. So Colossal Games is the one that made Kami-sama. And I wasn't a huge fan of Western Legends on subsequent playthroughs because I just felt it was also unbalanced, and I felt like they come up with these ideas for games, and they give these grandiose descriptions. Sandbox game, Western Legends. Well, technically, yes, you can do whatever you want, but if you want to win the game, then you're going to do 2 things. Kami-sama, asymmetrical. Yeah, like asymmetrical in the sense that every Kami is different, except that what you're doing is all the same. Like, so it's like, I think they're being too, like, impulsive with their descriptions on their games. Because a true asymmetrical game, at least to me, is a game like Root. And Root is an asymmetrical game where everyone plays a faction that is 100% different, and how they play the game is also 100% different. Like the Vagabond goes on quests, and then they can kill other people's creatures, but like ultimately they're going on quests and gathering gear. The Bird faction is they're playing a programming game, and they can just swarm and build up their what do they call it, monarchy, and just go on a rampant. The Woodland Alliance does sabotage missions and makes alliances with creatures, and then the Cats are the true area control with like all their people and just resource gathering. But yeah, and they all have different ways to get points. They have all these different ways to do a bunch of stuff. In Kami-sama, you're all placing shrines, and that's it. I mean, like, let's see. I like the artwork. The artwork is nice. It is a very pretty game. I like the artwork for all the Kami. Now, I don't think any of the Kami are actual real Kami, like in Japanese lore. I think they've all been made up, and if they are, then great. Like they're really well made up Kami, and they all have a backstory, which is kind of neat. Like the last game I played was the Kami of Death, it was the Kami of Fear, and the Kami of what was it? The Kami of Snow, or the Kami of Blizzard, or something like that. So it was just all of these very aggressive Kami. But even then, since we were all aggressive, you would think, we'd have plenty of shrines and plenty of stuff to do. No, still no. Like you just don't affect each other all that much. And in a three-player game, like one person's just getting screwed. So you almost have to play this with 4. I don't know. This game just doesn't do it for me. Didn't like whenever we were doing the run through, because I did record the run through. Like the banter was like there. Like at the year 1, we were all into it, and then by year 2, we were still. We started to think about it. By year 3, we were like, do we have to keep playing? And of course, I did just to show it. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, I think I can just do a no run through review over it. Yeah, I mean. That's my thoughts on Kami-sama. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it a 4. Like it's a little bit below average. like I said, not the worst game I've ever played, but not the best either. Like, I really don't want to play this again. Like, I think that they could have done a lot better, but you know, for us, it just it doesn't do it. If it was here's the thing, if it was 2 years, like kind of like a game like Mission Red Planet, you know, where there's a lot of stuff that you're doing, but the game ends quicker than you think it should, or quicker than you're expecting, but you still get a satisfying game. And it's like, I like games where it's like, oh man, this is oh wow, crap, it's almost over, but you've still done enough. If Kami-sama did that, it'd probably be a 6. Like it would go up 2 points. But as of right now, you're playing 90 minutes of doing the same thing, and that doesn't work for me. So 4 out of 10. But let me know what you think of Kami-sama in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this, and if you like this video, then click the subscribe button below to enjoy any video that I put out. And right next to that subscribe button is a little bell. Click that so you get notified of whenever I actually upload these videos. If you want to support the channel, you can definitely visit my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.